Hey guys, Steven here, Fanatic Perspective. Hopefully everybody can hear me okay. Uh, and as you guys are coming into the chat, please let me know because I'm broadcasting here from the road. Um, as we want to just react and talk a little ball with you guys for a few minutes, responding to this Texas BYU game. Texas 35-6 victors over BYU. So, guys, as you come in here, hit that like button and everything. I appreciate it. Let me make sure my levels are good. But yeah, just looking to talk with you guys. Everybody's thoughts of the game. Malik Murphy's first start at Texas here, taking over for Quinn Ewers. So we're gonna get into everything and just some initial thoughts I have as Texas is now 7-1 on the season, right? So 8 games in, 7-1. I feel like I think a lot of us would be happy with that if we talked about that being one of the benchmarks before the season started. In all seriousness, right? So celebrating the dub. Texas covered today. They're 20.5 point favorites at home, protecting home field, which is always good. Got a lot of guys active out there today. A lot of guys that we saw, contribute for Texas. So a lot of good overall. A lot of good. Also, as folks are showing up, hey, what's going on, Ken? Just real quick. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but as many know, my grandmother passed away, Miss Nanny B. Taylor, and this past week and the last couple weeks have just been a complete just chaos on our end. But in all seriousness, appreciate all the prayers, the thoughts, and everything. Trying to get myself resituated at home in the studio so I can contribute as normal, and something that I love to do and sharing with you guys and talking with you guys, especially about our favorite sports teams like Texas. So, but I also got to be in the right frame of mind and not just the complete emotional mess when I'm on here and handling business, right? So, I appreciate the grace. I appreciate the texts, the DMs, everything. Trust me, I didn't always. It's hard to respond to every single thing, but I see it. So, just want you guys to know that very very much. Now, I love you guys, Mark. Let's see. Dimpled Wonder. Just want to say one thing before I gotta head out. We saw exactly what we expected from Malik, and he will get better. But I want Quinn ASAP. Hey, thank you for the super chat. We'll get into to uh to the whole quarterback discussion um here in a sec. Quinn, I actually might have you come up here in a little bit, so stay tuned. Darian said, great win. Still some frustrating decisions by Coach Sark. Huge pivotal matchup next week. Texas better come prepared. Hook 'em. Yep, we got Kansas State next week. Kansas State beat the shit out of Houston today, 41-0. And Kansas State is the defending Big 12 champions as well. So big game coming up. But a Kansas State team that we've had success against over the last couple of years with them having Chris Kleiman. Darian, um, thank you for the super chat. What are some of the decisions that frustrated you the most with Sark? Was it some of the red zone play calls? Was it the decisions to pass up points to go for it? Um, I feel like some of the situation as we get into the nitpicking side of things, it seems to be a recurring discussion, regardless of opponent at this point, of us getting into some of these scenarios. So what you're seeing there when you say frustrating Let me start here, and I'll kind of progress with the chat. I In terms of Malik Murphy, I thought he played exactly how I expected, and I wasn't trying to. I didn't get a chance to make content this week, and I'm pissed because I had a lot of thoughts that I wanted to articulate in regards to Malik and kind of setting the table of how I thought today would go. However, in terms of my expectations for him in particular and his performance, I probably give him a B in terms of a grade. And here's why. I'm grading him on a scale of somebody who I know has not had game experience, somebody who I know needed needs an adjustment period, especially as a first time starter, playing against a veteran team and navigating, certain elements within this offense. Some of those things you have to take with a grain of salt. I'll kind of give you the good and the bad. So for me, I thought Malik clearly showed a good understanding of being able to execute the offense. Offensively, this offense seemed like how we've kind of looked the first 7 games. I don't think there was this alarming, oh my god, we're only running half of our menu of plays, right? Or we can't execute certain things. I actually like the fact that Sark came out and intentionally tried to get Malik into a rhythm and came out throwing the football. Hey, we're not going to be afraid with our backup here. And one of the things I wanted to say coming into this week is Texas is if Texas is going to beat their chest in recruiting and across the country and on social media about having the best quarterback room in the country, these are the times to show that, right? This is when you show, hey, no drop off. We're going to have execution. We're going to run the offense and we're going to move the ball up and down the field. I actually thought for the most part, Malik accomplished those things and was able to move the team up and down. Now, the statistical output with the passing game, same with it is with Quinn. There's a story behind it, right? It wasn't the sexiest, gaudiest numbers. We know we left some meat on the bone opportunity wise. And then the red zone stuff, which a lot of you are commenting about right now, right? Does the game or the feel of the game feel different for Malik if we are converting red zone opportunities and finishing drives? Another game where, with the late Jadon Blue touchdown run, we get over 30 points. Another game where we don't get 40 points. So we really are hitting a consistent window for the team, right? And you guys tell me, is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? I see it both ways. I think it can be looked at good and bad depending on how you want to, how you want to grade things at a macro scale, quite frankly. Um, Malik's a different type of quarterback, though. This is just kind of me kind of giving you my thoughts here, though. I think you saw that in terms of his ability to or willingness to want to try to challenge and make some contested throws or throw into tighter windows, maybe not the safest decisions, but for the most part, you also see the natural arm talent ability. His footwork is a gigantic work in progress. Malik's feet are not great. That's probably the weakness of his game. But when his feet aren't set and they're just an absolute mess, he sells so much arm that he can threaten the defense vertically. And so, we had one where AD Mitchell makes the catch in the end zone for his first career touchdown pass. We have another one where I thought Xavier Worthy, we'd like to see him come down with that catch. I know it's contested, but I thought that was a really well placed ball that was thrown. Um, and you saw Jatavian Sanders make some plays for him. So it was encouraging to see some guys make some plays for the quarterback as well. Um, Clearly, with a week of prep, his RPMs on his throws were toned down, so he wasn't throwing bullets all over the place like he did when he has gotten in either spot action or coming off. It's a totally different aspect when you get a full week of starting reps and you understand how to deliver the ball to your playmakers. I think we saw that from Malik. where he was able to display that touch underneath and get the ball out to folks. So everything looked pretty good and on time. Now, did I see, oh my God, this is stark difference? We have a quarterback controversy? No. Quentin Ewers is still the guy. I mean, I'm not going to compare somebody that's been operating this system for 2 years with all the starts and reps that Quinn has had to Malik in this spot. But Malik has the bandwidth, obviously, to work and get better while Quinn is out. And, we have to be encouraged with that. Now, ball security wise, I don't know what the hell happened on the interception, if he just didn't see or what. That was just a horrible rep for Malik, and those things happen with first year starters, guys that are redshirt freshmen. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Pete, you don't avoid that with any. Those are growing pains. Now, got to hit the film. Got to look for it. I know a lot of people said, "Hey, um, you know, Malik, we have some, we have those things where you want to see him hit those guys in stride or make better decisions. That's part of the growing process. But protecting the football has to be paramount. Has to be paramount. Also, the fumble, right? Now, I didn't love the play call right there, but your responsibility as a quarterback, got to eat that play, got to put the ball down and protect the football. Turning the ball over, especially at that point in the field, that's a very quick way to get benched. So that's a very large negative for me. Is protect. It's one thing to turn the football over; it's another thing to turn the football over that part of the field. You got to protect the team, even if it gets a bad play call in that scenario. Eat that. We live to play another down. But those are things that he'll learn on, with the film study and whatnot. There's opportunities that the coaches are also going to learn from coaching Malik, designing and scripting for Malik, whether it's, hey, we probably should mix in a little bit more run game here, or hey, we really like this rhythm of plays we got, or these are some things that next week against Kansas State, let's kind of come back to that concept or this, what have you, and get these guys worked in and maybe threaten the defense a little bit more in that regard. I think those are all conversations you're going to have after this. But just seeing him go out there and the offense is not falling apart. It's not, terrible. We're able to move the ball up and down the field. And we still had the same challenges as well. So Malik wasn't at the secret remedy for red zone. We still didn't really figure that out today. We had drives where we finished. Jonathan Brooks, who's, I wish we would have the awareness on the sideline to get him a couple more carries so he could get over 100 yards the last couple weeks. He finished at 99 yesterday or last week, and he finished at 98 today. So I wish we could get Jay Brooks the last couple weeks, those 100-yard games. But overall, he's balling out for us. I think Jonathan Brooks is probably having the best season of any Texas Longhorn this year, offense or defense. I think Jonathan Brooks is the team MVP, and he continues to just blow me away on a consistent basis with his vision, his jump cut ability, his ability when he makes a catch in pass game to make the first man miss, and to consistently be falling forward and getting positive yardage. I really like what I see from Jay Brooks, and what we're going to continue to see from him. So that's a positive. Um, Defensively, didn't give up a touchdown today. Held BYU to 2 field goals. So that's an improvement. Now we also that the opponent coming in has really been struggling offense, especially in Big 12 play. I mean, their metrics were disastrous coming into this game. I actually thought Keaton Slovis was making some nice throws. He just didn't have the personnel to make some things happen. But overall, I mean, I think it's good for the defense to see the ball go in, but like I talked about with the offensive issues that still are there, whether you see them or not, they're there on defense too. Yeah, Quinton said we had a hard time tracking the ball one on one. That's obvious. Um, which again leads me to coaching and technique. If I see multiple guys making the same mistake, if I see multiple guys utilizing the same improper technique or doing the same habits, I'm looking at the coaching and whether it's position coaches or who coordinates that whole side, and you see those challenges there. Now the defensive effort was outstanding today. Let's make that very clear. The defensive effort was outstanding today. Justice Finkley came in there. I thought he had his best game as a Texas Longhorn today. This was a matchup for whatever reason. Justice Finkley and what he brings to the table, it actually played out better for him. And I thought he got into a little bit of a groove there defensively and got some pressures, got a sack. I think he had 5 tackles. So definitely his best game. Mo Blackwell had a really good game. Agree. Good to see game speed back there, and he looked healthy. He looks healthy. He looked like he was ferocious there. Jalen Ford had some really really good moments. Tavondre Sweat, Byron Murphy. Those guys continue to do what they do on the interior, and hey, Michael Taft 2 weeks in a row with an interception. Michael Taft is you know we talk a lot about, we give all the DBs a hard time. We also got to give them some credit when they do something good, and Michael Taft has actually been one of our better guys in coverage, so we have to admit that as well. Gilbo looked good. Gilbo should have had a pick six at the end of the game. We want to finish. Look, challenge to those guys, because I know Jalen's already kicking himself on Twitter. I saw the tweet he said. I'm sick about dropping that pass. We got to challenge our guys though. Y'all supposed to be elite athletes now, right? Like y'all over here, like those are supposed to be like the way Kansas took that thing to the crib against DG today. That's how we need to be taking it to the crib against folks when they throw that type of cheese out there. We got to go finish and make the play. Hey, Joe Smith, what's up, man? I'm hanging in there, man. Oh, go Rangers! By the way, I'm I'm not going to be on here super long because I do want to go watch the Rangers game, and I just finished up watching Francis Ngannou get robbed against Tyson Fury. My Cameroonian brother made me so proud today and put the heavyweight champ on his ass. But just got finished watching that one as well. Gilbo and Barron need to be on the field at the same time. I guess you got to make one of them field corner. How do you want to play it? Who's staying at star? Who moves to the field? And I mean, because that means you'd want to rotate, I guess, with Terrence Brooks. And I like what I'm seeing from Gilbo because we need that depth. We need that depth. I've been of the opinion that Jade Barron, even when we go into our a true like base, uh, you know, a true base set or something like that, I still want Jade Barron on the field at all times. That's just me personally. Um, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Let me look at some stats here. I'm sorry, guys. Sorry for the quality of the stream. I'm broadcasting on the road, so got some challenges here. Yeah, Barron's. I still don't know why he didn't play the first half last week, but just really impressed with his effort overall and continue to be. I told y'all Jade's coming for first team everything this year. Anthony Hill played well. From I got to go back and really look at the rewatch and everything and dive in there, but I thought he played well. They play well. David Benda. I haven't seen Benda as much with some of the blitzing. I mean, he's still solid. Um, but in terms of getting after the quarterback, and maybe I'm tripping, maybe I missed. My eye is I can't see everything. So um, Baron Sorrell had a sack today. Keaton Crawford was making some plays on the ball early. He had a chance to get a turnover. So some bounce back games from some of those guys. I think overall we just a good effort when you win like that without your starting quarterback. That's a good thing. When you win like that against a Big 12 school that was what 5-2, 6-2 coming in, the emotional ties for Sark with this game. That's a good. Those are all positives. Oh yeah, Worthy. We got to give some credit to Worthy. Finally got a punt return to the house. Finally got a punt return to the house. So I'm happy to see that from Big Plays A. Very impressive. Terrence Brooks and Michael Taff with turnovers or interceptions today. Um, yeah, good stuff. Where these hands where these hands failed us on some of those, especially that touchdown. He should have had that touchdown. I said that earlier. Jamon Tapp starting to flash. He got called for PI and coverage, but he was with that guy stride for stride. Jamon Tapp's a really good athlete. And I'm happy that he's getting his opportunities to start to come on the field. It's interesting too, with the loss of Chris Ross off the roster and obviously the injuries we have going on, and we need guys to step up on the back end of this season. Encouraged to see that from Jamon Tapp. It's encouraged to see that from Jere Bledsoe. Guys who have been talked about, and we've heard things about them like, oh, don't sleep on so and so, and then you never see them. We've had that, Lord knows how many times we've had that at Texas, but encouraging to see those guys out there today getting active. What I think of OU versus Kansas. It's funny on Bleacher Report, we said that game was going to be really, really close, especially with the weather challenges that were going on there. And knowing Kansas brings two things to the table. They're super creative on offense and have a million different sets. And I knew that was going to kind of screw up OU defensively with how aggressive they are because they're going to over pursue a lot of crap. Um, and then offensively, what happens when you can't just throw the ball when you have guys that cover like Kansas does with man corners, and you need to defeat some of that stuff. And I thought OU was going to be able to run out of it, which they did a lot of times, but clearly they had some challenges and they got beat. They got beat. And Jason Bean took out his pound of flesh. Oh, you should have. I mean, OU was looking like they should have been beat last week. And I give everybody, look, I gave them a pass coming off the bye because of the emotions of the Texas game, but this Kansas game, they have no excuse. And that's why this is exactly why I've said if you're Texas, you keep your head down and you keep playing every single week because you don't know how this thing's gonna play out. Especially when everybody, including Oklahoma, treats you like their Super Bowl and gets all the way up for you. Look, OU has not matched any of the same energy since they played us. And that's the type of shot we get every single week. It's just different with Texas. So that's why we have to keep our head down. We're gonna get a heavyweight shot from Kansas State next week. We'll get a heavyweight shot from Iowa State and all these other teams. So we need to stay the course and do what we need to do and hopefully solve some of the problems we have. Like, I don't want to talk. I mean, I'll share my thoughts on OU Kansas because I did see it, but I'm more concerned about Texas solving some of the red zone challenges, Texas capitalizing and being better in situational football, trying to figure out why we're playing off coverage on fourth and short. There's still certain things that will get us beat regardless of who we're playing when we're going to get people at their best effort that we need to fix. And that has to be our mentality. We had a good day today. 35-6, you covered. It's a good day. Are we? Oh, when you say overthinking red zone, what do you mean? I mean, Quinton, it's a problem. You're one of the worst red zone teams in the country. The data shows that. So what are you talking about? Red zone's a pretty big deal, right? And you already lost a game this year because of red. Quinton, have you forgotten what happened against OU on the 1 yard line? It's the O line. Well, it's still no. It. Yeah, I mean, O line's a big part of it, but you can't just we can't be dismissive of an obvious issue. That's arrogance. We can't be like that if we want to be at the top. Because we look foolish saying that when we've already been beat by it. You've already taken an L because of that. So yeah, it needs to be fixed. Just like and look, there's certain things I have bigger things with the red zone. Jump balls, right. You don't use your verticality down there. You don't use your verticality down there. We don't throw back shoulders. We don't throw fades. We don't try to spread the defense out. We really seem to be very favorable to condensed sets. I did ask to see the wild red package down there, but the way that they ran it when they got down there, yeah, you're going to be able to stop that thing if you run it 3 or 4 times in a row, where it becomes a little too much. It's a change up, right? But that's not something you need to necessarily rely on. Um, I also don't think it's just as simple as saying the O line needs to get more push. I mean, I know it can seem like that, but football doesn't always play out that way. When you start to look at especially short yardage sets, the OU game is a great example of this. You have guys coming in unblocked from various angles when you bring in when you have condensed sets and there's guys coming in at an angle and are able to get underneath, right? And it's like, all right, I can push the guy in front of me all I want to, but if this linebacker is going to come in from depth at an angle and blow up the hole from underneath, then now I either have to cut back or get width, and it becomes a problem, or they cause a pile up. So it's a few different things that we have to factor in. We can't just. I think it's being very lazy just to sit there and say, well, it's the O line not getting enough push. There's a bunch of different factors why we haven't scored. We've had drops. We've had a lack. I mean, that's why lack of execution. It's not just the offensive line. It's also sometimes when we call the structuring of the plays. I haven't always agreed with the play calling, especially in the OU game that we played, or personnel groupings. I just told you guys I don't like the condensed sets down there. I don't think we. I think I would be favorable to the condensed sets if we had a mobile quarterback that would be able to run in on bootlegs and things like that. And I'd be more favorable to it if our receivers were more consistent blockers. If our receivers were more consistent blockers down there, then I would be more favorable to some of the condensed sets. But at certain points, if your kids show you over and over that they're not able to execute and they're not able to do something correctly, but you keep calling it or you keep trying to force it, then where are we at? At what point is it no longer the kid? It's you being stubborn as a coach. So a lot of those things have to get addressed. Why we have good plays for short. Yeah, we have there's several guys that just struggle blocking in space at certain points where it's like, for example, I mean, you see some teams, they're just able to throw that screen down there and get in the end zone, to the width where at least it's like, all right, just the threat of that's going to take two or three guys out the box, right? And, you know, boom, a little bit more width. Now my offensive line, we have an easier time identifying who we're going to go after. If we're going to go double teams, just run duo down here, boom, we smash it in. I think it's a little bit, you know, and again, not having a consistent, just pure rushing threat back there, quarterback, to where the defense has to, kind of have somebody hang out and worry about that. Um, that's also a challenge as well. Yeah, OU is a great example of that. They scored on one last week to Drake Stoops against UCF, where they just immediately threw out that screen out there, and those guys, um, hands on man, boom, end zone. So we got, those are some things we can clean up, but it's not all bad. I mean, the good thing is we're able to move the football up and down the field. I do feel encouraged about that. I do feel encouraged about the fact that I still see guys wide open uh, downfield, getting separation, and having those chunk plays. I think it's encouraging that Chatavian Sanders is starting to look healthier and healthier. Some of the catches he made today, we've seen him struggle at times with contested catches, and I thought today he really was there, trying to help the quarterback out and play good ball. So no, I'm pleased. I'm really pleased with the effort, but every issue we've talked about repeatedly with our group is still present. I will say special teams today was really impressive. I don't think that I had any issues on special teams. The kick coverage was outstanding. We did a lot of directional kicking today. Obviously, we had a punt return for a touchdown, which is always a big, big, big positive. So I'm favorable there with special teams and how that looked for sure. And some of the short yardage stuff, guys, especially in the red area, it becomes mental. The kids are aware of it too. It becomes mental. You start to think about it. They start banging in a few touch because it's also habits, and that's why I've always said, like, I think that's why we have gotten in the habit of getting 30 points every week. That's a habit. We've gotten in the habit of getting 30 points every week, but we've also gotten in the habit of we're not crossing 40. It don't matter who we're playing. We are gonna get to this level, but we're not getting to this level. So that's been, you know, that's a vet, and we've now seen that with two different quarterbacks at the we've seen that with two different quarterbacks. So again, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I think it's both. I think it's both. I think I mean, it's hard to score 30 points every week. It's hard. But we are leaving, it's just so many it seems that we are the reason why we're not able to have those big breakthrough blow it up games where we have these big time stats that seems like a lot of other schools are getting. Um, it seems like a lot of that stuff is self-inflicted, and we haven't been able to, whether it's from the sidelines or little habitual things on the field. Cedric Baxter. Um, I agree that the running back room, man. Look, when you have the thing is, here's the thing with the running back room. Tashard Choice has developed nothing but dogs in there, but his is the room that don't. I mean, the only issue we've had with that room this year is that Cedric Baxter was hurt and we were playing him when he shouldn't have been playing, in my opinion. That's my only issue with the room. Now that Cedric Baxter is healthy, he looks he is running better and better every single week, and with more physicality. The burst is back. Clearly, the brother's healthy now. That was the only issue I had with the room was when he was hurt. I thought I was like, all right, you should definitely be leaning more blue, Savion red, Keelan Robinson, right, and obviously Jonathan Brooks. But other than that, the room has been healthy. We don't have people missing games. We have people contributing. Keelan Robinson's arguably our best specialties player between him and Keaton Crawford. And Jaden Blue, I mean, he's that explosiveness is just I mean, he just naturally gets in the game and cuts it up and gets a 35 plus yard touchdown. I mean, it's hard to get all those guys on the field. Jonathan Brooks is in contention for the Doak. Makes no sense to constantly rely on trickery in short yardage situations. Um, yeah, I mean, Zach Raby A. Thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate it. It's frustrating at this point. I give them credit because they're trying a lot of different things, guys. We're seeing it every week. They tried, they made the adjustment. They went with their, I don't know what they called their big man package with T Sweat and Byron Murphy. They ran that package. They've run Wild Red package. They've tried to go under center in these condensed sets and try to run, with tempo and with Agbo and tempo and go big 12, big jumbo 12 personnel. It's none of it has been consistent. We don't have a tush push silver bullet. We don't for sure yardage. I don't like. Again, in the play calls too. I know some of you disagree with me. That's the whole point of having these conversations, so we can talk this stuff out. Today we called like one play call where as soon as we ran it, I was, what are you doing, Sark? The sprint rollout to the left. Malik's right-handed, and I know he's, we're running sprint rollout to the left to the field, and I just, unless you have somebody coming wide open, I like the ones where if they do the sprint rollout, they have like the second tight end kind of block and then leak back inside. I would have preferred that, but calling that sprint rollout to the left, that's a recipe for a pick. That I was like, as soon as we called that, I was like, oh, that we got lucky that it was just an incomplete pass. Those are the type of play calls where I'm like, you know what? If you're gonna do that, throw a fade, throw a back shoulder. Because then my quarterback takes one step. This is stuff they work on in 7-on-7s, and it's more so my guy, and I'm putting it on him, or I'm putting it in a place where only my guy can get it. And I know how some people feel about throwing fades and back shoulders at the 1 and 2 yard line. But damn it, when we have a Jatavian Sanders and an AD Mitchell and some of these guys that can get vertical and can deal with some of that tighter coverage, and we have guys like Quinn and Malik with their arm talent, why we aren't running some of that stuff in the red area, that's the one thing that we have not consistently tried to do. So that's a frustration for me. The rest of the stuff, yeah, we've had times where we ran it earlier. It's just not consistent. We had when we backed up a little bit, we had the penalty, I think, and then the second Malik Murphy touchdown pass to AD Mitchell was a slant. So we were able to hit that, right? And he was able, So again, it's not that we're never scoring; it's that we're inconsistent with it. So we've got to figure out a way to get to some of those bread and butter joints where we feel like we're a little bit more consistent getting points on the board. Hopefully that comes. I'll take a little drink here while I get caught up. Darren, I like the aggressive nature. I like the aggressive nature that it tends to the team. However, I think everything you have to be cognizant depending on such scenarios. And there was a scenario there, I think it was an opportunity to go up 24 to 6. I think I would have taken that. I like getting up 3 scores. And if I have an opportunity to get and they're surefire, I'm taking the points. I'm going up 24-6. I'm making that a 3 score game, right? Anything above that 17-point mark, there's certain thresholds I want to get to, regardless of my opponent. That's just me. I'd rather be up 3 scores. If we can look at the analytics of probability of victory when you get to that point versus still hanging around at 15 points. So that's me. But I also understand the nature of saying, hey, in this particular scenario, we want to be aggressive here. We feel like, and if you're looking at Texas for a lot of better parts of this game, the BYU personnel was not up to snuff on a snap to snap basis to really handle us on either side of the ball. That's why we were 20 something point favorites. And that's why we covered today, because their personnel was not there, right? They do some, they've been getting by on smoke and mirrors and turning people over with insane plays and hanging around. That's how they've been winning football games. So if you avoid some of those things, unfortunately, we didn't get bitten too much with a young QB in there. You should be okay to beat them personnel wise. So Sark's also thinking in that manner as well. And some of those decisions, you're like, okay, well, if we don't get it, the opponent's gonna with this shitty offense is gonna have to start on their own 2 yard line. So I have an opportunity for either turnover, block punt, big punt return. Like you're weighing all those things when you're making those decisions. And so I do. So I'm not bashing Sark for that. I think we just want to see ourselves execute and get in the habit of executing those things. So to where we're not having those type of conversations every single week. I think it really, yep. Isaac's on point. It's boiling back to execution more than us questioning the coach. We're questioning the coach because we didn't execute the play, and now we got to play scenarios. But we do want to see our coach manage the game and have a good feel for when certain scenarios come up, where it's like, okay, I see why Sark is making the call here, which may not. It's not. You're never going to be in a business of I'm always going to go for it no matter what. No, you got to read the room. That's what makes good coach. Gotta never say never, but you got to read the room in certain scenarios. Yeah, definitely should have caught that ball. But he has to do what's his best next week and catch the damn ball. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Um, and X is going to be there, and those guys in the receiving room. Um, yeah, part of it, part of it is reading the room. It's BYU. They can't score, so I don't care if I keep going for it. That's what Sark's thinking. I think Coach Flood is trying to fix this. I think Coach Flood is trying to fix this. We'll see. Hey, Quinton, do you still have the link I sent you, or do I need to email you a new link? I don't mind if you want to come up and chit chat with me for the last few minutes of the show, if you have time. If you have that old link, I still think it's the same link to come up. Yeah, check if you still have that link. If you don't, then I'll send you a new one. Um, yeah, Hayden struggles in those areas. It's not just him. I think it's several guys on the interior. So I'd like to see us improve that and and whatnot. But um, as frustrating as that is, though, Hayden is good in pass pro and one of our better guys in communication. So some of it, you got to take with a grain of salt. Guys, I'm adding Quinton to the show. Let me get him in here. Quentin, what's up, man? Can you hear me okay?
Harry,
What's
man,
good, man?
I think the first thing I need to say, I've said a couple times in the chat, is they go to practice too. They're D1 athletes too. And at some point, we just got to be happy that we won. I get the nitpicking. I get, hey, this, do better this, but we are winning games and we're not playing good. If we put a whole game together, it's going to be ugly.
And I hope it comes, man. I'm
Yeah,
happy.
yeah, I agree.
When's the last time we were 7-1?
When we was 0-8 or 8-0 back
Two,
in
two,
what?
it would be like 2008,
2009?
right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That
809, yep.
that season.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we haven't. No, you're absolutely right. I mean, and look, if I don't do a good enough job at I always go up off top of like good, right, and hey, we won, and blah
And
blah
then it
blah,
kind of
and
trickles
I
down.
know when we get into the meat of things, start talking to the chat, it
Yeah,
gets into the nitpicking type stuff. So if I don't do a good enough job of that, forgive me.
it's it's all good. I'm all over the place, man. I'm like on all the sites, all the stuff on Facebook, and just like the way that fans in college football just switch from week to week. You know what I mean? I'm just like, calm down. We good. We figuring it out. As long as like OU is what OU was. Like it was a good game. I see we lost, but we could have won that game as easily as we lost it. You know what I mean? Like these games that we're winning ugly, it's fun. It's like little nitpicky stuff like here and there. And I think us as fans, we have this like score. Like what makes me mad about college football is these spreads. Why do we hang so much up on the spread? Like you just need to win by 1 point.
Hey, no, you're right. We do need to win, but I think so. College, we also have to understand the history of this sport and what it still is, though. Especially what's going to happen on Tuesday, right? Tuesday
Are you
is the
looking at the
first playoff
scoreboard?
rankings are coming out, right? And so and now it's we have more opportunity than we had in the past. Growing up, okay, let me just say this real quick. It used to be you better have style points because people are just going to vote for who they think is the best team at the end of the year. So it's not winning, hey, getting a dub is not enough against certain that's how this sport historically has been. Then we had what? The computers came in. For those who are old enough, y'all remember the BCS era. In the BCS era, if you didn't beat the shit out of some of these teams and you kept playing close games and you weren't covering, you would get punished in the system.
You're
They would
right.
say, hey, this team ain't, they ain't playing how they should be. We are trying to get, what was the goal of the BCS? To get the two best teams at the end of the season. That was the only goal of the system.
That was
Now we're
horrible.
actually in the playoff era, right? Of the 14 playoff era.
Uh,
Eventually we'll get to the 12-team playoff era. But in the 14 playoff era, I do agree with Quinton. You can give them a little bit more ease to a certain degree, but
this
we
year more so
still are
than
trying to impress voters.
this
We're
year more
still
so than
fighting for that.
ever. You just at this year, everybody across the board, just get the heck out of there with a W. Look, even what Ohio State is struggling with Wisconsin, Washington is struggling with Stanford. Like,
Mm-hmm.
just get the heck up out of there, bro. Yo, man, this Tuesday's gonna be interesting with the way Washington's playing now and the way Oregon blew out Utah. I don't know what they're gonna do with them too. It's good though, man. I think we're all right though, man. We gotta clean some stuff up. Malik, having teachable moments in a win is great.
Absolutely.
There's a whole
Best
bunch
time.
that Sark can go back. Hey, don't do this. He loves it off his back foot. He loves it. He just but I don't know, man. He was excited.
Well,
And
let's talk Malik. I know some people came in late, and coming from other shows, also watching the college football games right now, or watching the World Series. So as you guys are coming in, hit that like button. We appreciate it. Over 100 here in the chat. I'm very, very grateful. Everybody that's been, again, extending prayers. Just me being able to do the show right now and talk with you guys is it's already helping. It's therapy for me. This is selfishly for me, right? But um, as we get into Malik Murphy, I gave him a B for today, his performance. I said, you know what? Look, first start. You're starting in the middle of the season. Haven't had a whole lot of reps, especially in-game reps. I like. Do you move the offense? Do you look like you know the offense? That was the obvious check. We were full menu today. We weren't running. If we were running, you can tell if it when a backup in that don't play, where it's like, damn, they only running like 25% of their plays. We were full menu with Malik. You could also see there were some things that we ran with Malik that were for Malik, where it's like, oh, I haven't seen us run that concept out of this formation. But hey, the coach has a good feel for what that quarterback likes to do. We actually had some stuff ready to go, tailored for him. So he clearly has understanding of offense. The offense was still moving up and down the field, like it was with Quinn. They were still going up and down the field.
I think
Um,
there's routes available to Malik that's not available to Quinn. Like that, just him being able to see over the offensive line, just him just sitting back in the pocket, just a slant. I don't think Quinn can throw that slant to AD like that, because you just there's
I
some
think
passes that
seeing it, yeah, I
you
think you're
just need
right in
to
terms
you
of
just need the
seeing
power and get
certain
it out there,
things.
man. Like even on the goal line, we can with Malik, we can just run double slants. You know what I mean? Block them up, they man up. But they're just some throws that Quinn being short and he has arm talent, but it's not strong.
I, Quinn's arm talent is layering balls,
Yeah, I've noticed that. Like
especially
those
intermediate.
little, he can get below his hip and kind of flick
Yes,
something out there. Yeah,
that's his God given ability. Whereas Malik, and you saw a couple times today, it's like it looked like, okay, you're trying to fit it into a guy's beneath, but he's like, oh, I'm comfortable throwing into smaller windows, or I'm comfortable throwing a contested ball, but I trust my guy. Like you're gonna see a little bit more. I trust my guy
balls. Yeah, I've
out of
noticed that.
Malik.
Because
Um,
when Quinn throws the ball, everyone's wide open. Quinn wide open, but Malik was like,
right.
"No, it's coming."
So you're gonna see some of that, but
Let's
it
see.
has to be balanced with decision making, understanding where you are on the field. We didn't have too many. I don't think he got hit today. He took some hits, but I didn't think he was overtly. There was crazy amount of pressure. He was. I think he actually gets rid of the ball probably a tick quicker than Quinn does on a consistent basis in terms of decisiveness. But now decision making, right? Like, hey, we're in the red zone. I can't. I'm with you. I didn't like the play call for that screen, but I need you to eat that, brother. I can't have you. You're
Also,
too big to be coughing the ball up down there. And in the red, like we
well,
have
that
points.
fumble was a. He had his back turned to the. That was Sark. You don't put your brand new freshman quarterback. Don't call that play where he has to turn his back to the. No, that's Sark's fault.
Those are the plays. Those are the plays where you gotta have like time in before we start calling
Dude,
plays.
like you gotta know what's coming. That play didn't have no chance.
But that's part of that's why I've always said snaps with Malik. So some people are going to come on here maybe after the video. I haven't seen too many in the chat. I think you guys have been very, very reasonable in the chat. I think it's a good thing that Malik took every snap today.
I was waiting on Orange. I was
I
like,
want it. He needs the work.
every single snap.
He needs the work, especially Quinn's not coming back next week, and you're playing the reigning Big 12 champions. Malik needed to take every snap today. I'm sorry. Like if you're Arch Manning, be ready in case something happens. Yes, I'm aware somebody can step on Malik's foot next week. Anything can happen, and you're in the game. So you got to be professionally ready and mental and get those mental reps there. But for Malik's development and where he is at this stage, and the fact that he is able to operate the offense already like this, he needed every rep today, good, bad, and indifferent. He needed every single rep because we weren't able to get him those reps earlier in the season. So going out there today, now when he watches film, he's taking notes differently than him. He's used to watching film of Quinn
Quinn,
every
yep.
week. because that's the only person who plays. So he's used to saying, okay, this is what our concept looked like against this coverage, blah, blah, blah. This is the decision Quinn made. This week in film study, it's going to be him. This is the decision I made. This is how I reacted. Whether I reacted positively, oh, okay, you know what? I can live with that decision. Or I live with where I put the football. Or if he reacts with it, he's like, I see what you were saying. Oh, I can get the ball out there, or I can make this play here. So that's all of that's only going to help Malik become a better player moving forward, in my opinion.
I feel like the like I love Quinn, he's great, but it just feel like the team's like more galvanized around Malik. It's like when you go in the huddle and you look in your quarterback's eyes and you look in Malik's eyes and you look in Quinn's eyes, you're like, we might be all right. But if you look at Malik's eyes, he's like, well, I got it. Because Quinn don't really he gotta hit some balls before he gets some confidence. he don't just come out with he
It's a personality thing too.
yeah.
Quinn's a Quinn's the cool guy in the room that's pretty chill, pretty quiet. Malik is the man. Malik is the guy who's he's at the center of the conversation. He's a gregarious personality. So it's natural for him. And it's not BS either. Like they talked about him like this when he was coming on his recruiting visits, when he was being recruited. This is They talked about this with Malik at camps. Okay. I'm not talking about Texas coaches. I'm talking about people in general. When Malik was at 7-on-7s, and they do the 7-on-7s all over the country, where they were down in Daytona Beach or wherever they would work, guys naturally flocked to him. They wanted to work with him. They wanted to be in his group. They were like, man, they kind of lit over there when they
Yeah.
doing skeleton drill. I want to run skeleton drill with Malik next time. Like that's what was happening. That's just how he is. So you're gonna see that, and I think you saw some energy there where, hey, I want to help my quarterback out. I want to make sure Malik feels, what can I do to make sure he's comfortable? I think Jatavian Sanders was a good example of that. I think he really, really made sure he was.
He shouldn't have
I'm,
caught that ball when he
I'm,
got lit up.
I'm.
That
You
ball, I thought
know,
that sucker was gonna go in
he's
the
dropped
ground.
those passes a lot in the past, and I think he was. You know, he just needs work. The work is important. The
Yeah.
work is important.
Well, that one pass
Um,
he caught when he got lit up by the safety, I'm like, that was for you, Malik. Because it was like over the middle, like he was like on the like right between the hash. He got lit up by two people and he called it. I was like,
but next week is a big test, and
man,
I think
I live in Oklahoma and everybody I know, Sooner and Oklahoma State fans, everybody I know. I live right in the middle of all of them. And I'm not hype on Kansas State. Like I kind of I look at all their stuff out there every weekend and man, what's Buddy Howard? He what throwing a buck 50, 200 yards a game and they running the ball. And then the other dude don't throw the ball at all. And I'm just
well,
like,
here's the
how are y'all getting away with this?
here's the thing. Here's the thing. I say that from a standpoint of, I say it all the time on this channel. You respect your opponent by how you prepare for them. If you're prepared for them, that tells me you respect them, right? Now, in terms of K State, we've had success. K State, the way they play football, we
Sets up
actually
perfect.
for
We
it,
match
it
up.
sets up. We match up with them. We've matched up with them since 2021. Like it just is what it is. The way that they play ball, like it's an easier matchup for us. However, when people start doing the whole, Will Howard's doing this, and then they're bringing in Avery Johnson to do the other thing and run around. I have seen us in the past start getting mixed by somebody, some other quarterback that comes in and start. I'm just saying we need to be on our P's and Q's. That's
He
what I'm
didn't.
saying.
He didn't play. I don't think Avery played today. I was looking at. He didn't play today.
He didn't play today. Well, the
Mhm.
game he came in and had 5 touchdowns. My thing is that's the type of stuff people will do against Texas when
I
they come
watched
play
that game.
Texas.
I watched that game, bro. There was like here's 10 yards, here's 5 yards. Like he was like a running back playing quarterback. It wasn't like he was like 50 yards out and you catch. Man, these we gonna see. I
No, we
think
got. I mean, well,
I
the
think
other thing too is from an offensive perspective, if we can get the type of production we have right now, and fix and clean up the red zone stuff. And Malik, hey, next week let's take. You had 2 turnovers today. Let's try not to have any turnovers next week. Then I feel really good at home.
Yeah, today with Malik today with no turnovers, it looked great. It looked great now, but without those 2 turnovers, it looked great.
So but that's a goal, right? Like you're telling him next week, hey, let's take care of the football. Be smart, trust your arm. I don't want you to play scared,
Yeah, I
but
agree.
um, but when the play's not there, the play's not there.
Yeah.
So if that because those are the type of things where Kansas State came back on us last year when they
Mhm.
shouldn't have.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
had we had Kansas State
We had them
down
put
in
away.
Manhattan. We had them in the third quarter. We were up 31-10. Okay. And we got away from ourselves. We got outside of ourselves. And next thing you know, we're in a dogfight. And luckily Coburn sacks Adrian Martinez or gets the ball out and we win.
I
We
don't.
shouldn't be praying and getting in those situations, I hope. But K-State's formidable.
I wouldn't hope Sark was this guy, but Sark seems like a really nice guy. And something in me watching this game was like, I don't want to blow my buddy out. Like, you know what I mean? He didn't want to. He's like, I want to beat him real good, but
Ooh.
like not too good.
I mean, so this was the Sark Bowl for we I think as much as coverage as everybody followed this week of Sark and his tenure at BYU as the quarterback and kind of getting transitioning from player to coach and his relationship with Coach Sataki and
Did you listen to his
all
interview?
those things. Huh?
I listened to Coach Sataki's interview on Monday. He loves Sark.
No,
Like,
yeah, he's loved Sark since he was a kid.
but
Like
he
I get it.
loves that guy. I was like, yeah, you sound defeated, bro.
That's his guy, man.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
get it. I get it. I get it. But um, these guys are professionals, man. I mean, at
yeah.
this point,
Sark
y-
wasn't. What we did right now was just good enough for Sark. Sark wouldn't want to win by no more than what we won today against his buddy. He did. It's not like we did that to anybody anyway, but definitely
I
not
mean,
against
I
this
mean, I mean, shoot, if Gilbo catches that pick and
guy. Oof.
houses it like he should have,
He getting made up fun of right now on the bus home. Yo, man, is there?
that's a pick. That's a pick
Man,
six.
do you think there's any way? I've never seen it done. Man, you put Gilbo at the the star and put Barron at a safety,
Oh,
dude.
put Barron at safety.
Hmm. Man, he's our best DB all around. He can play anywhere.
It's the problem is it's after the bye week. You're 8 games in. You're eight
Yeah,
games. You're 66% of the way through the season.
you're right. You're right.
You're not making those type of at this point. The rooms are the rooms. The players are the players. Somebody said, has it been mentioned yet what happened with Chris Ross? Chris Ross is no longer on the Texas team,
Dude, they said
which
he
is
was off
why
the roster with the quick. They said when you go in the portal, you still be in the portal but be on the team. But they said he was off the team like
no,
that.
he's not. He's not on. He's not. And I'm not going to get into. I'm not going to get into to the why or the speculation there. That's not my business. But he's not on the team anymore.
Man, where's
But
Nair? Even Niblett got in today. We ain't seen Nair. Niblett got in, Moore got in. I'm like, Nair's in the
Moore got
doghouse.
in.
Yep.
Jonte Cook got in.
Nair just chilling.
I hope he gives us another year,
I don't
because
see.
realistically, all 3 receivers are going to need to be replaced. If let's say we're out of 11 personnel and it's Worthy, 80, and Jay Witt, all 3 guys are gone. So whether it's Cook, honestly, now with the commitment of, I know I was out, but I wasn't offline. Now with the commitment of Wingo,
You think
who's
he gonna
going to
stay?
fight. I think he's going to stick, and I
His
think
mama looked real sad in
he's
that
going to
press conference.
compete. He's going to compete at that boundary position. So, and then obviously, I think DeAndre Moore is going to be our guy on the slot next year, next to Jonte.
Hmm.
So that boundary position, I mean, that yeah, look, if you're Isaiah Nayer, look at it this way, dude. You came here and you were the man after spring last year. you were the boundary. Like boundary had already been solidified last year,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
He was
We're
going to be
down.
boundary, Worthy, and Whittington, and then and ever since then, and damn it, the only person I've seen survive the ACL allegations at Texas is Jordan Shipley, because just seems like that injury has been a death sentence for us with receivers at this school. They all like it's the same. It seems to me now. I know it happened multiple times with Troy O'Mary, but it seems to be the same type of thing where the guy can't, for whatever reason, can't get it going every day in practice or whatever. Again, I'm not there. I'm just going off of reading the tea leaves.
Yeah.
And now AD Mitchell's here. Now, Casey Kane is still around. DeAndre, all these other guys are in the mix, and you start to fall behind. And you have
Yeah.
guys that don't have knee issues that are able to run every. Ryan Niblett doesn't have a knee issue, and Ryan Niblett's earning, him, even Wisner, running back. They're earning their stripes from the coaches because they're playing special teams. That's the other thing. When you start playing special teams and you start getting out there making plays, the coach is like, bro, you don't jump in here and get a rep,
Yeah.
right? That's how they reward them.
Man, our special teams look real good, man. All of it. It all
They
looks
were
good.
flying.
Man, it kind of made me mad. Number 7, Robinson flew down the field. He had him at the 5-yard line and ran right by him. I was like, God, no, he had like another 20 yards after he missed the tackle. But A for effort. Man, we look good. I think we'll be all right, man. We just got a little nitpicky stuff to. I'm holding steady on the goal on the red zone, bro. It's the whole line, bro.
Why? But okay. But what's this? Do
Did
you
you,
not? But
did
do
you
you
read what
not
I put
see
in the
that it's
chat?
a problem?
No, it's a problem, but it's not even a red zone problem. It's the same problem we have on the 50-yard line on 3rd and 2 when we need to run the ball. We
So
don't
you're
get
just
it.
saying outright it's a short yardage issue.
Yes, it has. Yes,
Okay.
because Starks never had a problem in the red zone until this year. So it's not the calls. Because we're not nothing's happening, dude. If you look at the O line, man, it's Jay Brooks is doing his thing. You know what I mean? You look at him blocking, I see people whiffing, and I'm like, you didn't block nobody, bro. They're pass blocking. That's it. That's what they're
They're
good
good at
at.
pass. Yeah, they are. They pass block very well today for the most part. I thought Malik had more than enough time for them for the most part. There were some throws he had where he was getting hit or he knew, but for the most it wasn't enough to where I felt like our quarterback was getting skittish because it's like, damn, every time he drops back, he's getting hit. They are good at that. Um, just think that the lack of consistency in the run blocking element, I think that's a part of it. I think they get into their bag though when they run wild red. But then again, Savion, so does Savion too.
Yeah,
Savion runs hard. I
yeah.
don't know that. I don't know.
We talk about it every week, man, but they,
And every
they,
week is a problem.
they can come out next week and look like world beaters. Like you said it best. Like we are where we are, and we play to the level of our competition. We didn't do that today, but if you put a number 1 team in front of us, we gonna play like it, and that's what I'm hopeful for. You know what I mean? So we could have got our butts beat, and man, we all right. We be all right. I'm hopeful. I'm more the optimistic of the fan base. Maybe delusional, but I think we'll be all right,
Any
man.
other game balls? Any other game? So let me give out. I'm gonna give out three game balls today. I want to give a game ball to like I think I gave it. Said it earlier,
Brooks.
but Justice Finkley gets a game ball from me. He had his best game as a Texas Longhorn. He doesn't normally play that amount of snaps. He's obviously length is always going to be a problem for him because of his stature and some of those longer tackles. But today I thought he was ferocious, had a great effort, great motor, and really like what I saw from him. Jonathan Brooks gets a game ball because he's a freaking baller, and he was just out there getting active. I mean,
Man, Mo Blackwell jumped off the screen today for me.
Mo Blackwell's getting a game ball from you.
Dude, he jumped off the screen. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm like, who? I was like, we ain't seen him in a minute. That injury preseason is like he getting back, and I'm like,
It was a
good.
tough one.
Yeah,
That's not an easy one to just turn around.
yeah. So I'm
Excuse
noticing
me, and recover
Ben
from.
ain't been did Ben to play today?
I saw him out there a little bit. Let me check
I
the.
guess Blackwell done put him on the bench, and of course,
No,
80.
Benda had 3 tackles.
Okay, okay. Well, 80 had two touchdowns, so we got to get him one. That moon, what y'all call it, the moon ball? I didn't think he was going to catch that. That was a tight fit.
I'm gonna give Malik a game ball for getting
Yeah,
his first career dub.
Corey. He said it's our punter. He's a dog.
Yo, our punter's been good all year, dude.
That 74-yard punt.
That guy, that guy Samburn, whatever his name is, that
Yep.
guy's good.
Yeah.
I don't even think about the punt team anymore.
But he's so good.
That guy's good.
Yeah, man, it's good.
Timothy, you giving a game ball to Jamon Tap? Some people giving game ball to the punters.
Yeah, we can go
To
ahead
the
and get
punter.
one Sanborn.
Did anyone see? I wasn't at the game, but I heard Arch was warming up a few times.
Yeah.
But I said it earlier to when Quinton came on to the broadcast. I think this was today. The coaching staff made the correct decision to give Malik all the reps. I think it was he needed the work. I think in terms of the opponent you're going to face next week, and him being your starter for multi weeks now, he needs those reps, and I'm glad that they handled it in that way. Now, if we were up, if we were going crazy and we were up, 44-0, and it's still 10 minutes left in the game, absolutely get Arch work.
No.
But in the context of game flow of today and good, bad, and indifferent, I'm glad that Malik
It was
got all
it
the
was
reps.
one quarter that threw off. That if that second quarter didn't happen, Arch would have played because they had the ball 9 minutes that quarter. We touched it one time in the second quarter, so it was. Yeah, man, we'll be all right. Everything will come together. How long? How long? What is it? Quinn, week to week still?
He's going to be, well, they're going to say week to week.
Okay, so it's 4.
Realistically, I don't think Quinn will be back next week. I think after this week is like the week where you would start to look to see what's he doing at practice?
Man,
Is
they're
he limited? Is he putting pads on?
they said he was singing the Texas fight song with the left hand up.
I mean, it's encouraging. If you look at Quinn today, it's encouraging. Like he wasn't wearing like a sling or a visible harness, right? Like so clearly, like he doesn't need to be stabilized.
Yeah.
And so you just hope that as the weeks go on, he's able to fully heal up and be ready for battle at the end. But
They're really mum on Catalan, man. They haven't said nothing about him.
I th- I think
They
you're
said
sensitive with his injury history, man.
it's
It's
his
a
his lower
different.
leg though. It's not his. It's his legs.
It's not his shoulder. It's not his shoulders.
It's
I know, but
his
still,
legs.
the
We
guy
need him next week. I think we need him next week.
he does match up. He would match up really well in the K State game.
He can just go
You
flying
need
out the
that hammer in
secondary.
the box.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. I
Yep.
mean, it's tough though because Catalan is, even the way his body has changed over the years from what he initially was at Stanford,
Mm-hmm.
he's almost like another linebacker at this point.
Yeah, he
Um,
looked like a little Maurice Jones-Drew in the secondary. Little bowling ball. Yeah, I looked at some of his highlight times for Arkansas, and I was like, man, he's a dog.
Big Hulk said D line gets a game ball from him. The whole D line.
Man, they ain't gonna call no holding on nobody we play. You just that's out the window. They ain't gonna call it.
So if Tran was on here, and for those asking where Tran is, he had to go to a birthday party with the kids, but he just texting me out of fury and anger about the lack of holding penalties. And
It's so bad.
I
Here's what
mean,
it
but
is.
this is at this, I hate to say it, but like, what were we expecting? I know it sucks to see it, and we
It's
still
gonna
should say
be
something, but
it's gonna
it's
be
just
front and center next week.
They and the one they called was that was like blatant obvious
in
that
the
was on
secondary.
Vernon Broughton. Well, the Vernon Broughton one, which is like then they get literal with it and they're like, yeah, technically he got wrapped up at the 1 yard line, so it can't be a safety. I'm like, all right, bruh. All right. I'm glad y'all finally like the moment y'all finally saw it. It's like, yeah, it conveniently happened at the 1 yard line. Um, you know, but I just don't see the energy to get on here. Yes, there are holding calls every play
Yeah, I
on
agree.
like our guys are getting like if you think that people are just blocking our people legitimately, you're wrong. The tape shows it. Yes, there are like, but in this conference, we're not getting those looks.
Oh my.
We're not getting those looks. So,
Hmm.
you know,
I was glad
where do
to
you want to
see.
see Cole Hudson at Marlon? Because do you want to see him in there at center, or do you want to see him at guard?
When did he get
And
hurt
who
after
you take?
Alabama?
Who Cole Hudson?
He been out since the game after
Mm,
Alabama.
yeah. So, do you want to? Where do you want to see Cole Hudson used? Because I don't disagree with you about pin and pull.
Dude, there was just one play on defense that lit a fire under me. You said it, 4th and 2, dude was 7 yards off and he just ran a slant. I'm like, wow. That's the only play on defense that stood out like a sore thumb. And I was like, what are we doing?
Here's the frustration there too. Those things BYU didn't have the capabilities to exploit us like that. So it wasn't. It didn't. It mattered. Like it mattered because it's important because you noticed it in that down, and you're like, dude, what do we do? Why are we playing football like this?
It didn't happen
But
twice.
when they weren't gonna they don't throw the football with enough proficiency for it to be a threat.
Yeah.
Where it's a threat is when you play like a certain style of offense, aka like an air raid or a veer and shoot. So what we're gonna see against TCU, what we're gonna see against Texas Tech, whether they're good or not, and we know those teams have all been struggling. But the point is, that's what their agenda is for their offense is to come out and exploit the gaps like that. So that's where I'm like, hey, I don't care if y'all like. Let me rephrase this. I want to see y'all do it right against BYU just so you can show you're capable of it. Versus because I know what y'all are going to do in those games. You're going to play the same coverage there, and that's a check for those quarterbacks in their offenses. We're just giving it up, and I don't like it because you know what? Kansas today against OU did not give them that space. They refused. Where Kansas was getting beat was because they don't have the people on the interior with the run.
With the
They
run.
don't have the bodies there. But their secondary
Dude,
was
on the
literally
edge. They locked down corners on the edge.
they were playing hands-on man.
Just right in their
And
face.
what happened first
Pick six.
series?
Mm.
Dylan Gabriel's trying to throw to the field. And
Yep.
he throws that lollipop out there. But when you're playing tight man coverage, they
Don't
had
work.
they had they had like single high up top, but like for the most part underneath, it was man.
Yep.
And it was
All
tight
game.
man.
All game.
That was a pick.
Yep.
Right? Like that's all I'm saying. Like I rather us go out like dog hands on man. Like Ryan Watts, welcome back Ryan Watts. He's another one that we might have to consider a game ball to because there is a difference in mentality and coverage when he's out there versus when he's not out there. And so it welcome and I don't care about deep speed and but all those type of things that because at the end of the day so much is negated. So much of these college offenses are timing and just rerouting people, and you screw up the whole play.
And it's
These quarterbacks are not NFL type guys that are used to throwing into traffic windows and people and muddy waters. They're
I would
not.
I would venture to say this. It's not even that we're getting burnt. It's that when the ball's in the air, we don't make a play on the ball. We're always there. We just one on one. The receiver makes a better play. Dude threw in the triple cover or the double cover, and the dude came down with it. With that Lassiter dude,
Yeah, so Derek Williams came off another guy. He was covering the guy on inside. He came off to help, which is what he should have done.
dude still
He
called it.
didn't locate the ball,
They
and
don't
he ended
know
up getting called for a PI. Yeah, he just didn't locate the ball. Like he went over to help, but he like went over to like he just like hit him.
because I
I'm
can say
like,
this.
if he had looked up, he might have got a pick.
I agree. We're getting interceptions, but we're not jumping routes. It's
We're
like
not. That's a difference.
we're not jumping routes. There's overthrown balls. They're like, hey, catch. Yeah, man. But I don't know. I see things. I'm like, that's a good pick, man. But you didn't have to do much but catch the ball. I don't know. I think we'll be all right. I think when it's time to lock down and season on the line, y'all going to the Big 12 championship playoffs. I think we're gonna make some plays, and I think this will be our best game besides the Alabama game coming up this week. Have they gave a game time yet? I know it's one of those 6-day things.
For K State.
Man, they probably gonna put us in at 11 o'clock. Cause I think what USC and Washington play next week. I think they're the late game, or maybe they'll put us 2:30 ABC regional.
All right. Any parting thoughts? Because I'm about to wrap up here. I got to roll.
My parting thoughts are: stay positive. We got a W, and that's all that matters. Winning games are hard, but we won.
Seven
That
and one.
that's it. Go kiss your girlfriends, hug your mom, hug your kids. We got a W.
Probably, well, not probably. We're tied now for first place in the Big 12 with the results of the Kansas OU game. And
With
now
five
we
other
await.
teams. It's
We
five-way
now
tie.
await. Yes, it's now very, very crowded at the top. We also await to see what Tuesday looks like. I'm gonna try to get some content out Tuesday. Maybe we live react to the first playoff rankings. I will say this as my parting thought. Um, a Congratulations to Malik Murphy, first win. Thank you for sticking with us through the journey from a recruiting standpoint and showing that heart and that dog and that spirit to say you just want to compete. I think to me, it makes it easier for, I think there's a reason why so many people in the fan base root for him because he really wanted to be here really bad. When we have, some of our, let's call a spade. Some of our best, most productive players on this team are here way of second chance around, like Quinn Ewers or Xavier Worthy, and that have come in, or have been at other places that are now major contributors. Malik Murphy from the beginning was, I want to be at Texas. And I think that resonates with the fan base, and I definitely resonates in the locker room when winning guys over and that genuine wanting to compete attitude. So congratulations to him just for getting that win. Not a perfect day, but a lot to learn from. And he's gonna should be very productive film study this week and taking those growing pains. The other thing is this is the first playoff thing that's come out that we are like really in the mix of it as Texas fans.
It's
And
look
that's sad to say when you think about it, considering that the playoffs started in like what 2014, 2015.
Tennessee been there, Baylor been there, TCU
Yeah,
been
and
there.
like this is the first time this late in the year that we're gonna like turn it on. And I'm not talking about seeing us at like rank like 18th, right? I'm talking about
The first two out.
wherever we like first two out, right? Like let's get a real good understanding right now of where the playoff committee views Texas,
Well,
right?
you seen these
And
scores up here?
and how the scores play out. But like the fact that we're even here is something noteworthy, right? So keeping the good times going, the momentum going. Hopefully, get healthier going into next week. Another home game versus Kansas State. Guys, thank you for all of the prayers and well wishes and everything sent. Again, been a very difficult week, but one that I'm happy to navigate through with you guys, and blessing to get a Texas win after everything, So that also makes it cooler. But I'll let you guys know if I'm heading down to K State. Right now, the my plan is yes, is to be at the K State game next week, but TBD on that. Um, but yeah, my, chat, hit the like button, whole bit. Quinton, thank you for joining.
No
I
problem.
appreciate you, brother.
Anytime.
And guys, remember, horns always up. Hook 'em.